Well, welcome again to the Green Screen Studio, and of course, once again, I have that notorious blogger who Charles LeBlanc. So I wanted to see if he'd catch that. If I was going to leave his name out, but I couldn't get it past him. But anyway, big news coming up for Charles's website. In the next couple of days, he's going to be hitting the 2 million views. That is phenomenal. J.D. Irving, Gleaner, Telegraph Journal, eat your heart out. Anyway, what's your feelings about your site?
I would have got, thanks for inviting me here. I would have got 2 million hits a couple of years ago. But unfortunately, the blog was shut down.
Yeah.
And we had to start all over again, you know. And it's, but you go back, it's about 12 years.
Don't say that. It makes, if that was 12 years ago, I'm getting to be a very old guy.
This used to be around.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And you had hair down about here.
Oh, yes. But it's amazing I quit smoking during that time. But it's the things that's been going on. You reflect back. There's a lot of issues that has to be covered. And this video here is just to a reminder, maybe it'll be a little bit long, but it's a reminder or to reflect on, do we have freedom of speech in New Brunswick?
It's limited. It all matters. You know, well, an example, we did a story there a little while back on the homeless, and one of the counselors, you know, went and said we got it wrong, right? We didn't get it wrong. We had the facts. We had the Rogers video. We had the presentations. We had the content based on, you know, what was, you know, based on what was said. I mean, that was our evidence. You know, it was right there in front of us.
And the kids, the people with mental illness, who crying and pleading that they wanted to stay home.
And, you know, this counselor tells you, well, you got it wrong because this person, the landlord, lives a different kind of lifestyle that you are not aware of. We don't give a rat's ass about that.
No.
You know.
But it's issues like that, the media will cover it once, and after that, it's gone.
Yeah.
Bloggers, but looking back on me, it's funny because the blog, the next few days, is going to hit 2 million hits. But it's funny how the blogger or blogging, that was the thing. That was the thing, blogging. And then it changed into Facebook. And then Twitter came along. I wonder what's going to be next.
Oh, well, now there's, you know, Microsoft and Google are working with these virtual reality goggles.
Well, that's what we're doing now. Right?
Well, we're not quite virtual reality yet, but...
pretty damn close, there's no editing here. Absolutely not.
Of course, I would never think about editing.
No, of course not.
But, you know, in reflecting, you know, as what you were saying, you know, when I first got to know you, do you recall you did a post on an Asperger's child being segregated in a library from one of the schools?
Okay.
And anyway, the mother had given you had talked to you, and you had did a story. And at the time, I was on the District Education Council. And I was going through your blog, and I seen this. And I said, well, as a counselor, I've got to pay attention to this here. And then I contacted you. Then we met at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we talked about it, and you made the arrangement for me to meet with the mother. And of course, what ultimately happened, I had to respect her wishes. She asked me not to pursue it any further.
It's funny how people complain, but once you want them to join you.
Well, that's the fear factor that's in place. You know, during the Occupy thing, again, you covered that quite extensively.
It was a block from my place. I had no choice.
You know, the common thing. I mean, we've seen, like, you know, literally, you know, tens of thousands of people during that period of October till January. And the common thing that we'd hear is that you guys are absolutely right, but I don't want to speak because I'm currently employed. I might lose my job.
Hey, that's what they all say.
I may be working and I'll lose my job. And you see, with you, right, they didn't have you by the balls in that way.
No.
They didn't have that control.
I had no responsibility. If I had a wife at home and kids at home, I would have never started to do this in the first place. But the bottom line is freedom of speech. I wrote letters to the editor in St. John. I wrote about 500 letters. I was well known to talk of a town. The Irvings, politicians, were afraid of me in St. John. And then I came here to Fredericton because I suffered from ADHD and Ritalin, and somebody asked me, do you want to become a blogger? Because I was sending emails to everybody, like our buddy here, won't mention his name, but send email and email and emails. And somebody asked me, want to become a blogger? No, I love sending emails. And then, but when I started blogging, the arrest in St. John, when I covered, and that was connected, Fredericton Police Force, that was connected. Can't prove it, of course, but it's funny that I covered the, what was it called again? Immigrants Without Borders protest in front of City Hall. The police, it's strange because they look at a guy that was taking pictures. They look at him and say, are you a journalist? Not to me, somebody else. So why would he ask that for? You got to be a Irving employee to take pictures? And me, I put the pictures on the blog, and CTV News, or ATV that the day before CTV, what's her name? Indian girl, nice, I forgot her name. Anyway, racism charge against the Fredericton Police Force that same night. And that's where my trouble began. They started to turn white and white and wider and wider. Couple of seizures, epilepsy, and they really don't believe in freedom of speech.
No, it's restricted now. Now that you bring that up, I'm actually working on a video on Bill C-51. Last week I interviewed Matt DeCourcy, MP, for this writing, and I asked him the question about Bill C-51. And there's one troubling part of Bill C-51 that addresses that. If you say anything against the government of the day, that can be construed that you are a security risk and you can be
jail.
Fall under the definition of a terrorism, and that's pretty scary. And like I won't right today say what the results of that interview was with Matt, because I'm leaving that for that particular interview. But this whole thing, like, I'm a couple years older than you are, almost 10 years difference between you and I. And
I don't look like it. I thought I was older.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
And
I'm being nice. This is your home. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway,
I don't smoke.
You don't smoke, and you drive me to smoke. But from the 60s to the present, I've seen a degradation in what we can say and what we can do. And how they do it bit by bit. They'll use usually a fear factor to get the public on board, and then they take a little bit of your civil liberties away.
Yeah.
They don't do it all at once. It's just done bit by bit.
Well, look, okay, I'm sorry, but I mean, let's face facts here. Like, they're trying, like you said, get the support of the public. When they shut down my blog, Google ordered, the city of Fredericton ordered Google to shut down my blog because I called a black person a black piece of shit. Now, would there be a beep? I didn't use the N-word. Rob Costello, a black police officer, told my internet provider that I was exploiting children for sex. You see in the paper, I got it in my back pocket. And then me, mad, said, that black piece of shit. Oh, I was a racist. I am the most non-racist person in this province. As a matter of fact, I'm so non-racist. When I arrived on my bike trip, I went to Memphis, Tennessee. I went to visit the site where Martin Luther King got assassinated. And I was leaving. And the reporter said, "What, did you go to Graceland?" Graceland? What's that? I was forced to go, and I got the picture home, me and the uncle of Elvis Presley. But what I'm saying is, to use the race card, to go after certain people, and especially bloggers. You know, I mean, the police has been giving me a very, very, very difficult time.
Look, you've heard me use the term, a war of attrition started. But just before I get into that, you see, for them to get at you, they watered things down as much as possible, got as technical as that. The context that you had used, it wasn't in a racist way, but what they did, they took the words out of out of context to justify the blog.
Yeah.
But fortunately, you have a brilliant IT guy that was able to get you back operating again within 6 hours.
We won't mention no names.
But I know him personally, he's very modest.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you something, just for people that's new here, just right quick. Fredericton Police Force, formed to my internet provider. I, Detective Rob Castello, a peace officer of the Fredericton Police Force, conducting a criminal investigation relating to a child sexual exploitation offense. Right there. So, right off, that really got me upset. Very, 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 very upset. And that's where the trouble started. And what you were saying about you stepping forward. See, I'm a strong believer, Andre. There's a reason for everything. Me, I showed up here. My good priest, Mary Bryan, was here in Fredericton. I didn't even know. You can't make these stories up. And when they raided my place, I got some supporters out there. I had people coming in from the doors, the windows, and the support, people I didn't even know. And it was great. They come, a modem, a computer, they were giving me money, people were just so upset. But people don't go around and say, "Oh, I support Charles LeBlanc." They go behind you and they go, or they give you a couple of bucks, which I'm on social assistant. I don't mind people giving me a few bucks, once in a while.
And, again, like in this war of attrition, right? What a war of attrition is when two parties, whether it's countries or whether it's lawyers among lawyers, the thing is you try to starve the other person out. You try to get them to exhaust their resources or get them exhausted that they cannot continue. And with you, that was definitely a case of a war of attrition.
But they forgot the Scottish part.
Well, they didn't anticipate your tenacity. And you won that war when Fitch offered you the olive branch.
An olive branch through the media, not to me personally.
Well, right now's an opportunity. If the old girl is watching this video, ask her right there. Say, "Leanne,
will you set up a guillotine at Officer Square and put 6 officers on it? Boom, 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 and then we move on to make this city a beautiful city."
No, I thought you would have said, "Miss Fitch, in all respect, would you kindly give me a public apology plus a written?" That would show me your sincerity in trying to offer this olive branch. Didn't I say that's some elephant?
Chief Leanne Fitch, you, the most stubborn police officer I have ever come across in my life, will you hold a news conference with tears in your eyes and truly apologize for the harm you people have given me? With that, I'm Charles LeBlanc.
And I'm Andre Faust. Until next time at the Green Studio, take care, God bless, et puis merci pour être ici.
See ya.